Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for Monday, June 17th, 2024. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Just a reminder, please like, share, and subscribe. It actually helps out the channel quite a bit. And if you're looking for more detailed information, like possibly some tropical mischief in the Gulf of Mexico, or what could happen if a thunderstorm develops in this hot and humid weather pattern that we're about to experience, definitely subscribe to the premium consulting membership. Only $15 a month and chock full of tons of information. Now, this morning we have high pressure off the coast, and that's supporting a south-southwesterly wind starting to take hold. We have some low clouds in place in a few locations are starting to give way. And we have our temperatures ranging from the upper 60s to lower 70s over the northern interior, lower to mid 70s along the coast in your urban areas. Notice the dew points are starting to rise into the 60s and pushing towards the upper 60s as we move towards this afternoon, as we start to increase our humidity as our first heat wave of the season starts to take hold. Now, not everyone's going to experience heat wave conditions. What do I mean by that? Well, along the coast, you're going to experience what we call a sea breeze, and that's going to keep our temperatures in the 80s in many locations throughout this week along the immediate coast. And if you really want to escape the heat wave for much of this week, you want to head out towards Long Island, where that south-southwesterly wind coming off the Atlantic Ocean is going to keep us relatively cool in the 70s and 80s throughout much of this week. It's still going to be a bit humid, but hey, at least it won't be in the 90s like it will be in the Delaware River Valley. And of course, this thermal gradient sets up the potential for what we call sea breeze fronts and thunderstorms developing along those sea breeze fronts. And these thunderstorms, they can move very, very slowly. Now, most locations will remain dry through this upcoming week. Dry, hot, humid. Real issue for anyone that has any type of vegetation, or if you're trying to have a nice healthy lawn. Well, good luck. You're going to have to water it every evening because this heat is really going to do a number on the vegetation around the region. But if you get one of these thunderstorms, they don't move very fast. There's plenty of low level moisture, not much in the way of wind. So it's going to just kind of linger in one area and can drop heavy rainfall for 30, 45, 60, 90 minutes at a time, and that could lead to localized flash flooding. So basically, the way that the region's precipitation map is going to look by the time you get to the end of the month is a lot of below average, below normal uh, locations in terms of precipitation for the month, but then you'll get this bullseye here and here, or maybe out here towards Newark, where you get this thunderstorm that happens to sit over the region and really enhance the rainfall totals for that day, week, month. You kind of get the idea here. But that's pretty much it in terms of potential for precipitation over the next 7 days. Not much in the way of cold fronts, not much in the way of any type of other disturbances. That's it. Just a rogue outflow boundary producing a rogue thunderstorm or a sea breeze front or something of that nature. On the latest weather tap, surface map, and radar, you can see high pressure is set up off the coast. Our Bermuda high is getting ready to set itself up. And again, this is a great example of these little disturbances in the atmosphere that can spark a thunderstorm or two. As this hot and humid weather pattern takes shape, that's essentially what we're going to have to watch out for. Other than that, not much really driving this weather pattern. On the visible satellite picture, you can see some of those morning low clouds that are going to start to give way. Now, as I study the satellite throughout the day, what I'm going to be watching for is what we call cumulus fields. So what happens is that we get these cumulonimbus or cumulus clouds, should we start off first, starting to pop up, let's say over here on the coastal plain as the sea breeze front develops, or out here where we have some difference between the urban heat island effect and the slightly cooler temperatures out here. It reaches the convective temperature, you can get these cumulus clouds that start to break up, and then one or two become cumulonimbus and produce one of those thunderstorms. So we'll be keeping an eye on that to see if that process begins. Otherwise, on the infrared satellite picture, you can see the circulation of our high pressure system starting to organize here, setting up, keeping us relatively quiet. All of your Disturbances in the polar jet stream basically ride this ridge, march through the Western Great Lakes, through Canada, and then clip through New England to the north of us. Now, with that, you could get a rogue thunderstorm, let's say, drop south. So I'll have to watch out for that as well. But again, that's a really low chance of actually happening. So let's walk through this forecast for today. High pressure in control with sky cloud cover, increasing muggy conditions. High temperatures range from the mid 70s to lower 80s on Long Island, mid to upper 80s along the immediate coast, and upper 80s to lower 90s everywhere else, with a heat index pushing into the mid 90s. For tonight into tomorrow morning, sky cloud cover, some areas of patchy fog. Look for low temperatures in the mid to upper 60s tomorrow afternoon, and really rinse and repeat all the way through the week. Sky cloud cover, not much in way of precipitation, muggy, hazy, hot, and humid, possibility of an isolated shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon between 2 and 6. Low temperatures will range from the mid to upper 60s over the northern interior, upper 60s to lower 70s in your suburbs, lower to mid 70s in your urban areas. High temperatures will range from the upper 70s to mid 80s on Long Island, upper 80s to lower 90s along the coast, lower to mid 90s over the interior, and mid to upper 90s in the Delaware River Valley, essentially around the I-95 corridor, anywhere where you have the urban heat island effect. So we're talking about Philadelphia, Camden, New Jersey, up towards Trenton, towards Newark, and then off towards the north of New York City. That is where, of course, New York City itself, that is where we're going to have that enhancement of this heat because of the urban heat island effect. And of course, if you happen to get one of these thunderstorms, then hey, you get knocked down into the 80s, but it feels like a steam bath because of all the humidity in the atmosphere. So with this, you're going to have your heat index throughout this week ranging from the mid 90s to mid 100s, so 95 to 105. The key thing here, and I want to really make this very clear. Yes, we've had heat waves in the past. That's not the issue. This is the first one of this season. It's early season as well. So you might not be acclimated to this type of heat and humidity. So it can have more of an impact on you than you think. So take it easy, drink plenty of water. If you have to do work in the outside, please do so in the morning hours before it gets too oppressive. Try not to work outside if possible from, let's say, 12 to 4 p.m., because that's when you're going to see the peak of the heat and humidity impacting you. And when it comes to heat stress on the body, it can come up on you very, very quickly without you really being able to adjust to it. So drink plenty of water, try to stay in cool places. Take this one slowly because the first heat wave tends to have the most impact on the human body. So just use some caution. Now, by the time we get to this weekend, we're going to have some frontal boundaries attempt to drop through the region but fail on Saturday and Sunday. So that's going to lead to, again, muggy conditions, slightly better chance for a thunderstorm here and there, but for the most part, the humid conditions continue with low temperatures ranging from the upper 60s to lower 70s over the northern interior, lower to mid 70s along the coast, possibly from some upper 70s in your urban areas. High temperatures will range from the lower to mid 80s on Long Island, upper 80s to lower 90s on the immediate coast, mid to upper 90s everywhere else, with the heat index again around 100 degrees in many locations. Only place where you're going to avoid that is again on the immediate coast and over Long Island, where you'll have your heat index in the lower to mid 90s instead. Now, on Monday, we have a cold front moving through. The timing of this cold front will impact your temperatures, but also increase the potential for widespread showers and thunderstorms. And a few of these thunderstorms are going to be capable of reaching severe levels. I went on the hot side because these cold front boundaries in the model guidance tends to be forecasted to move through too fast and what's in reality. So I'm going with the idea that the cold front is going to stay off to our west for most of the day, and we're going to be able to really warm up this atmosphere once again. That's going to lead to low temperatures ranging from the lower to mid 70s over the northern interior, lower to mid 70s in your suburbs, mid 70s to possibly even a few lower 80s in your urban areas. Look for high temperatures ranging from the upper 80s to lower 90s on Long Island, lower to mid 90s along the coast and over the interior, and mid to upper 90s in the Delaware River Valley. That is your forecast discussion for today, and I know it's a hot one. So please stay safe out there.